Hey ho guys, it's me again. Hope you've all been keeping well. So I was nominated for the FABQ Taste and Niches. FABQ frequently asked beer questions, and I was nominated by Paul is here, Paul Dean, one of our Irish brew brethren up in Northern Ireland. So I'm going to belt ahead with it now. Just having a glass of zombie dust. It's 2 weeks in the bottle now. Yeah, I know it might be long enough, but it's coming along really nicely. It's not going to show up very well in the shitty camera. Anyway, let's build ahead. So I'm going off the questions on Gino's video on this. What was your first beer? Well, that's easy. It was Guinness. Technically it was Guinness. I remember when we were growing up, it was back in the day when you could do this. Whenever we got a cold, or we were sick, or after we were being sick, to build us back up again, my mother would get a small bottle of stout, and pour some into a mug and mix in a teaspoon or two of sugar and stir it around. And I know it sounds weird, and give it to us. And by God, it did the job. Case in point, I don't know if they still do it here, but I do remember back in the day that after you gave blood here, they used to give you, they used to give the women a small bottle of Guinness, I think. Something to do with iron. So technically it was Guinness. I'm Irish as well. But my first beer as an adult, I think was a pint of battery acid, or as it's better known, Harp. That's all I'll say about that. So Harp was probably my first official adult beer. How did you get into beer kicking? I didn't. I don't consider myself a beer geek. To be quite honest with you, I could take it or leave it. Right now, at the moment, I'm kind of struggling to stay interested in it. There's too much other crap going on. So I don't consider myself a beer geek. I've no interest in geeking out really. To me, if I have a couple of set recipes that I want to homebrew, or if I have a couple of set beers that are cheap enough that I can drink and taste enough that I can drink on a regular basis, that's the extent of my beer geeking. What's my favourite beer? That's easy. Tixton Old Peculiar, hands down. Followed up closely by Newcastle Brown. And I should say Newcastle Brown the way it used to be before Heineken took it over. But Tixton Old Peculiar, hands down, and Guinness would be third. If you can only have one beer, what would it be? Tixton Old Peculiar. How can you drink so much and stay healthy? I don't drink a hell of a lot, and I'm not that healthy. I'm not overweight, but I just have other health issues I won't go into. Nothing fatal. How can you drink? I don't really drink so much. I did dry January this year. No problem at all. Well, the first week was tough. I tend to have a drink or two when I come under a lot of stress in the head, or come under a lot of pressure, which thankfully is only once in the blue moon, and that's really the only time I drink, bar maybe having a few beers at the weekend. But because I'm doing so much driving at the moment, I live 20k away from my elderly parents, and because I'm doing so much driving up and down, I don't really drink that much. Are you an alcoholic? Ooh, asking an Irishman if he's an alcoholic. No, I'm not. I could take it or leave it. Sometimes I do enjoy a drink, and sometimes I do rely on having a few beers to get me through stressful days. But I can take it or leave it. Yeah. I mean, I do remember back in the past, you know, I was kind of drinking into my 20s. I can't remember what happened, and I gave up drinking for about 10 years. But no, not alcohol. What's your favourite ingredient? Ooh, that's probably the one I can't really. Well, I'm a malt head. When it comes to store-bought beers, I'm absolutely a malt head. So I would say malt, although they're all important. I have to be honest with you though, I've always tended towards, and the next one is, do you brew? Yes, I do. So what's your favourite ingredient in do your brew, kind of tie in together. I've always tended towards darker beers like miles, bitters, stouts, porters. I found over the last couple of months that they're kind of getting over the top for me, that, you know, they're kind of too heavy, too much. So a couple of home brews that I did there lately were Zombie Dust and Dropkick Nate. Both relatively highly hopped. They're both around the 60 or 70 IBUs and relatively highly dry hopped. So I'm kind of heading in that direction now. Maybe the lighter pale ales, American pale ales. I might try a few IPAs. Who in the beer world do you look up to? I don't, is the simple thing. Anybody that knows me personally or relatively well knows that I don't like people as a general rule. I'm kind of a solo guy, so who in the beer world do you look up to? It's going to be a hard one. If I had to answer it, I would say it would be somebody in the homebrew community, and well, there is two people that stand out in the homebrew community. The fella, like most of us, about 4 years back, I started off watching Craig. I watched him for a little bit, but the guy I really hooked into then is somebody that's not really doing on YouTube anymore, and it's a fella called Big Dave, or What's Brewing UK. And for about the first year and a half, 2 years, my God, that man really brought me along, in conjunction with the next person I'm going to mention. But just starting off initially, Big Dave just really got me going. No question was too stupid. This is back when I was doing basic kish and kilo and all that. So yeah, it's a pity he disappeared off the scene. The other person I would have to say would be Gash Slug, or Gavin Ellicott as he's known these days. I'd have to say, if anybody has helped me along the way, for the most part of my 4 years that I've been homebrewing now, it would have to be Gash. I mean, he was there literally within a few months of when I started homebrewing 4 years back, and he's been there ever since. And I know I wreck the man's head sometimes, because no matter what he tell me to do, I'll do the exact opposite. But I'll always ask him first. So that's it. Who am I going to nominate? Jesus. This is going to be a hard one, because most everybody's after doing it already. And I know she's probably going to shoot me for this, but I'm going to nominate Bobbi Meyer, if she's not after doing it already. Now, I know she's been off the scene for quite a while. I did watch a recent video of hers where she's talking about getting back into it. So Bobbi Meyer, and I'm going to nominate Justin Elder. He hasn't been around for a while. And I'm also going to nominate Glenn from HomebeerBrewery. So they're my nominations. Cheers, guys. Slán go forward.